How fast is too fast and how slow is too slow? We've all been in the situation on the interstate when somebody is either cruising by, driving by really fast in the passing lane, or there's somebody in front of you and you're stuck behind them and they're going really slow. It's very frustrating. Rarely do we find ourselves at the perfect speed. We've all been driving for years, hopefully, with plenty of road experience. Speed limit, there's many factors that contribute to whether or not we feel we should be going this speed. You ever been driving in a residential area and you're like, Jesus, I'm going really slow right now? Or you'll be driving on the interstate and you're like, I'm going really fast. Some of these are subconscious and some of them are conscious. There's been a widely debated controversy on whether or not the speed limit should be increased or if it should be decreased. The increased side says that it can save time, and there's rural areas that definitely have to travel farther than other places, so they need a higher speed limit, and that it also maybe contributes to safety, and that it allows for compliance with the law. And then the decreased side says that it actually increases safety, and then also has to do with money. First, we will talk about how increasing the speed limit would save time, and then how it will help rural areas that are suffering. Next, we will talk about how it actually optimizes safety and improves compliance and respect of the law. Then after that, the decreased side will talk about how it actually contributes to money. And then finally, we'll finish off with how it relates as to why should we increase it, because of time.
Long car rides are something for me, long car rides are something I feel we've all dreaded at one point in our lives. For me, I dread long car rides for so many reasons. I hate the achy back that I always get. I hate the awkward naps that I always seem to take and become more tired from. I hate the sometimes never-ending views of corn and beans. But most importantly, I can't stand the time I feel I'm wasting on a long car ride. Time is a very rare thing that some people get very little of. There are so many quotes to be found about time, but I decided to choose just one. As said by Bruce Lee, if you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. I don't know about all of you, but when I was a little kid and I was playing with my friends or my cousins and my parents told me it was time to go, I begged and pleaded for just 10 more minutes. I know then, like I know now, that 10 minutes really isn't that much time, but man did it feel good when my parents granted me just 10 more minutes of fun. Now, what if I told you that you could save or somehow get back those 10 more minutes? Speed limits are something that have been around and will be around for the rest of our time. Speed limits are a necessity everywhere that people drive or use some form of transportation. But in my opinion, there are many places that the speed limit can be increased. I know some of us in here are from rural areas and some of us are from urban. Me personally, I'm from Grant County, Minnesota, and as found on U.S. Census Bureau Quick Facts, as of 2010, my county had exactly 11 people per square mile population. That's the exact same amount of people per square mile as North Dakota as a whole, stated by Perrione. With this being known, why is it that North Dakota highways have a speed limit of 65 miles per hour and highways in my county have a speed limit of 55 miles per hour? When traveling 50 miles, there's a 9-minute difference when traveling 65 miles per hour versus 55. 9 minutes isn't a lot, but it's still time saved on a long car ride. Now, if we look at Brookings County in South Dakota, which I-29 runs directly through at a maximum speed limit of 80 miles per hour, they have a per square mile population of 40.3, as found in the U.S. Census Bureau Quick Facts. That almost triples my rural county's population, so why is it that an urban area can have a speed limit on an interstate 25 miles per hour greater than my rural counties? I believe that in scenarios like these where laws can be changed. When we do the math in this scenario, using the same 50 miles, the time saved going 80 miles per hour versus 55 miles per hour is 17 minutes. Also, for both the examples I used, the time saved only grows exponentially the further you travel. I feel that just because 55 or 65 miles per hour is the common speed limit in many areas, that doesn't mean that areas with straight roads for hundreds of miles of nothing should be the same. I believe there needs to be more law changes allowing certain speed limits to be increased in certain areas, because the time saved driving in a safer atmosphere will outweigh the little change in accidents. In conclusion, I feel that the speed limit can be safely increased in many of the less populated areas where accident rates are lower and there is less of a reason to have such low speed limits.
There's a reason for everything. Consider the refrigerator. It's used to preserve food, and the pencil. It's used to transcribe thoughts to paper. Just like these objects, there's a reason for the speed limits. The speed limits do two things in particular. One, it causes us to maintain a specific speed while driving. And if we go above that speed limit, we are encouraged to go under by penalized with a speeding ticket. In addition, by going under the speed limit, we can increase the safety along roads. Now, this concept doesn't matter where you are, rural area, urban area, both the same. Actually, in fact, contrary to popular belief, it's more important in rural areas than it is in urban areas to maintain a specific speed limit. According to a journal entry from the American Journal of Public Health written by Friedman, Heidecker, and Richter, when the national speed limit was increased, there was a 3.2% increase in fatalities linked to speeding. In rural areas, however, that jumped to a 9.1% increase, compared to a much lower 4.0 in urban areas. This goes to show that just because there's a lower population, it does not mean that you're safer. In fact, quite to the contrary, it's generally you get comfortable in your safety, go too fast, crash. Now, 9.1, you might be thinking it's not that large of a number, but at the end of the day, it's a significantly large number when all it takes to stop it is to not increase the speed limit. After all, increasing the speed limit, it's selfish in the end when you think about it. You're saying that my 10 minutes can be worth your life. In the end, the increase in speed can lead to higher injury. Therefore, the speed limit should remain the same.
Higher speeds are most often associated with injuries, but however, that's actually not the case. The difference in speeds between cars is actually what causes all these crashes. If one car is speeding much faster than another car that's going slower, the difference in between those speeds is why crashes happen more often. Aggressive cars are going to be weaving in between those slower cars, which is obviously a hazardous condition. If the speed limit was raised, these slower, obedient drivers would be forced to kind of catch up to the faster cars, because we know that the aggressive ones are not going to want to slow down. If they're already breaking the law, they're just going to keep doing it. The National Motorist Association said the more uniform the speeds of vehicles in a traffic stream, the less chance there is for conflict and crashes. According to the University of Austin in Texas, research done by the National Cooperation Highway Research Program and the Federal Highway Administration says that we need to follow the 85th percentile. The 85th percentile says that if there's more than 1 out of 7 cars going faster than the speed limit, then the speed needs to increase. It would promote the more uniform traffic flow and minimize crashes. Safety is most often our number one concern when it comes to any topic, but another point to make is the compliance with the law. Specifically us young adults, it's hard to have a friend that actually would drive the actual speed limit, especially in Fargo, which is a very fast-paced community. It's also difficult to find someone who hasn't gotten at least one speeding ticket. We can't change if people are going to follow the law or not. People don't look at speed signs, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to crash. We're usually still safe. I can say it myself that half the time I go probably 5 miles over the speed limit, I haven't gotten into a car crash yet. If we're safe, there's no reason for there to be this heavy weight on our shoulders when we're driving on the interstate, if we're going to get a speed ticket or not. On the interstate, when you see one of those state patrol officers, you're going to slam on your brakes and then you're going to scare the driver behind you, which could cause a car accident. The law should be in our best interest, and if we're all driving 5 to 10 miles per hour with no accidents, it's kind of difficult to respect the law. It is uncanny. We want people to follow the law, therefore the law should be changed. Increasing the speed limit would optimize safety and improve respect in relations with the law, although money does come into play.
Many of us have gotten speeding tickets before, and if not, there's a good chance we will in the future. This is not a bad thing, however. Speeding tickets are a big reason why the speed limit should not be increased. If you think about it, if you increase the speed limit, there would be less speeding tickets handed out. Every year, millions of speeding tickets are handed out to drivers. According to Jeff Davis law firm, 1 in every 6 drivers will receive a speeding ticket this year. Roughly 41 million speeding tickets, which is over $6 billion by the end of the year alone in speeding tickets. That's a lot of money, but where exactly does it go? Speeding tickets are usually broken up into like a court fee and a general state fund type fee. The money from the state fund just goes to the state, kind of like taxes, and the court fee pays for the judges and the upkeep of the court. Raising the speed limit would ruin days, but overall it helps the health of the state. The point of time saving is also often brought up in this topic, and it doesn't really matter unless you're in a rural area. For instance, a 20-mile drive, which is still pretty far, going 70 miles per hour would take 17 minutes, and if that's brought up to 80 miles an hour, it would only take 15 minutes, which is only 2 minutes. Doesn't really account for much, and it's probably just safer to keep going 70. The speed limit should not be increased because of its benefit towards public works, as well as it not saving a worthy amount of time.
The issue of speeding is not one-sided. As you've seen, we've presented sides on both sides. On one hand, the higher speeds can lead to a higher increase and a decrease in taxation money, as well as none. On the other hand, you can save more time, as well as there can be a higher compliance with the law. Now, you can't ignore the issue of speeding. It's integral to your everyday life. It really depends on how much is too much. So too much and too little in this case are equally as harmful. And we hope that by informing you today that you consider this next time that you are driving. Because after all, we've all been behind that ridiculously slow driver that's going 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. And we've all been passed by the ridiculously fast one that leaves you in its dust. So how much is too much and how much is too little?